What's going on? How everybody doing? I'm well. I'm back at practice today, so I'm thankful.
No first team reps for Shedeur Sanders, but what I will say is he was impressive today in the last session, which was kind of this 11-on-11 hurry-up situation type stuff. Had two really nice throws. One to Deontay Johnson on a crosser, backed up 3rd and 12 with about 20 seconds left on the clock and one timeout. And then he followed it up the very next throw with a brilliant throw layered on a skinny post or a seam route rather to...
Shedeur Sanders is finally back in team reps after missing just one day due to arm soreness, and man oh man, what a way to make a comeback in the quarterback competition. The young QB stepped back onto the field and looked sharper than ever. He had a total of 9 reps and completed 7 of them with confidence and command. But it wasn't just about the completion rate. Some of those throws were absolute highlights of the entire training session. Whether it was his pocket awareness, the zip on his passes, or the timing with his receivers, Shedeur reminded everyone why his name still belongs in the conversation for the starting spot.
Of course, I was definitely hearing his voice in the back of my head, but at the end of the day, I want to be productive. I want to give you guys the best work, and I want to be at my best at all times, you know.
In the press conference, Shedeur Sanders opened up about the mental battle he faced during his brief time off. He admitted there were voices and doubts creeping in when the arm soreness first hit, but instead of rushing back or forcing plays, he chose patience. Shedeur said he kept his composure, stayed focused, and made the smart decision to sit out because he didn't want to give anything less than 100%. "I wanted my fans to see the best version of me," he said. And now, with that mindset and determination, he's back, more locked in than ever. And he was absolutely right, because his performance today was a treat for every fan in attendance. The crowd that showed up to catch a glimpse of Shedeur Sanders before the joint training session with the Carolina Panthers got exactly what they came for. Poised, accurate, and electric, his energy was contagious. Now, let's take a look at one of the standout plays from the session, a moment that had everyone on the sidelines buzzing and proved once again why Shedeur is built for this stage. Shedeur Sanders took the snap in a tight pocket, the pressure closing in fast, but he didn't flinch. Leaning back with defenders collapsing all around him and his vision partially blocked by the chaos, Shedeur kept his cool. In a split-second decision, he launched an absolute dime to Luke Floriea, threading the needle with perfect touch and timing. That throw? It wasn't just a completion, it was the highlight of the day. A play that had teammates nodding in approval, coaches taking notes and fans on their feet. It was a statement. Shedeur Sanders is back, and he's not here to play it safe. And that throw to Floriea wasn't the only standout moment from Shedeur Sanders' practice today. He continued to impress during the 7-on-7 reps, where he looked calm, composed, and completely in control. His decision-making was sharp, his footwork crisp, and his chemistry with the receivers was on full display. One particular throw had everyone talking. It was another reminder of just how much poise and precision Shedeur brings to the field. Let's take a look at this one. Shedeur Sanders received the snap with just one defender in sight, and he wasted no time. Reading the coverage instantly, he rolled slightly to his right and delivered a pinpoint strike straight into the hands of his receiver. It was a tight window, but the ball was placed perfectly. The receiver was immediately met by defenders and taken down shortly after the catch, but the job was done. The throw was clean, the execution was flawless, and it showed once again that Shedeur isn't just about flash, he's about precision under pressure. Shedeur Sanders also addressed concerns about his arm during the post-practice media session. He was quick to clear the air, saying there wasn't any serious issue, just a bit of natural soreness. He emphasized that it wasn't caused by overuse or too many reps, but rather the sudden rise and fall in body temperature under the intense Cleveland sun. According to Shedeur, it's all part of the adjustment process, and his arm is getting used to the conditions. It's just about adapting. he said confidently, making it clear that he's listening to his body and staying smart, because the goal is to be fully ready when it really counts. Shedeur brought this up for a reason.
You know, sometimes you're going hot, then you'll wait for a second, then you'll get cold, then get back hot, then get cold, and you know, my arm and body wasn't used to that, you know, so it's just an adjustment like within the body, you know, within my arm.
Because critics like Tony Grossi had already started using the soreness as an agenda against him. Grossi publicly questioned how Shedeur could have arm soreness when, according to him, Shedeur wasn't even getting enough reps or putting in the hard work. The narrative was starting to shift unfairly, and Shedeur made sure to set the record straight.
He's got the fewest reps in camp and he's got a sore arm. Why? Well, people say he throws a lot before practice and after practice. Well, how counterproductive is that?
I'm sure there's a method to the madness.
He addressed it head on, not to complain, but to clarify. He's been working, he's been focused, and most importantly, he's been smart about his body. The soreness wasn't a result of laziness or lack of conditioning. It was just part of the adjustment to the new environment. And judging by his performance today, that adjustment is coming along just fine. On the other hand, in a twist of irony, Tony Grossi's favorite, Dillon Gabriel, is now the one sitting out for a day due to hamstring soreness. The same Grossi who questioned Shedeur Sanders' toughness and work ethic has suddenly gone silent. No harsh words, no doubts about Gabriel's commitment, no wild narratives, just quiet acceptance. It really makes you wonder, will Grossi keep the same energy now? Or was it only Shedeur who had to deal with the criticism for something as normal as soreness during camp? The double standard is loud, and fans are starting to notice. But all of that aside, it doesn't change the reality on the field. Shedeur Sanders has simply been better. In fact, during the last training session when Shedeur was absent, Dillon Gabriel struggled heavily. On day 9 of training camp, Gabriel completed only 11 out of 22 reps, a performance that raised more questions than answers. His timing was off, his throws lacked accuracy, and the offense just didn't click with him under center. Meanwhile, Shedeur returned the very next day and lit up the field with sharp passes, poise under pressure, and 2 highlight-worthy throws. The contrast couldn't be clearer. When Shedeur's on the field, the energy shifts and the offense moves. Dillon's highlights from that day. Honestly, they were more of a low-light reel. It was a tough watch for anyone expecting him to step up in Shedeur's absence. He couldn't even complete the simpler reps, ones where there wasn't much pressure at all. Let's have a look at this play. Dillon Gabriel had a golden opportunity to redeem himself. The runner broke free, wide open, executed a perfect route, and there wasn't a single defender in sight. Gabriel had everything in his favor: a clean pocket, no pressure, and a clear view of the play as it unfolded. All he needed was a simple, well-timed throw with just the right touch. But once again, he panicked. The ball came out awkward, too low, and completely off target. It forced the receiver to reach down mid-stride, and it slipped right through his hands. What should have been an easy completion turned into another wasted play, adding to a growing list of misfires that are starting to define Gabriel's camp performance. In conclusion, the past few days at training camp have painted a very clear picture. Shedeur Sanders is rising while Dillon Gabriel is struggling to keep pace. Shedeur's return from arm soreness wasn't just a recovery, it was a statement. He came back with poise, precision, and undeniable command of the offense, delivering standout throws that reminded everyone why he's still in the mix for the starting role. Even under the scrutiny of critics like Tony Grossi, Shedeur kept his head down, stayed focused, and let his play do the talking. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel, who had every chance to shine in Shedeur's absence, simply didn't deliver. His misfires, lack of accuracy, and poor reads exposed weaknesses that can't be ignored, especially on a day when Shedeur reminded the team of his natural leadership and quarterback instincts. And the irony: while Grossi criticized Shedeur for minor soreness, he's now silent on Gabriel's own injury setback. That inconsistency speaks volumes. At the end of the day, training camp is about proving who's ready when it counts. And so far, Shedeur Sanders has done exactly that. If this trend continues, the QB conversation in Cleveland could take a very interesting turn, and fans know exactly who's winning the moment. What do you think about Shedeur Sanders' performance since returning to team reps? Do you believe he's done enough to solidify his place in the quarterback competition? Was Tony Grossi unfair in his criticism of Shedeur? Especially now that Dillon Gabriel is dealing with his own injury. And speaking of Dillon, do you think his recent struggles should raise concerns about his readiness? Is the media showing favoritism, or are fans reading too much into it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear what you think about this QB battle heating up in Cleveland.